the files that represent each and every event that has been recorded over the period of soul journey, starting from the time of conception to the time when soul left the human body, is the cellular memory. Cellular memory is the memory of each and every thought that was generated in response to an event and stored in the cells at different levels. It is the count and account of each and every single deed, karma or action taken up by the body during its soul journey. Each act of karma or action elicits a response in the human body at the quantum level, which is stored inside the cell in the memory banks and called the cellular memory. The storage of the data inside the cell is not a very simple process and is dependent on a number of factors. The perception by the conscious mind, the control exercised by the intellect, thoughts passed on to the subconscious mind, the present day overload of the subconscious mind, hereditary patterns, past life exposure, and present life experiences. The initial process of acquiring and creating the memory bank begins at the level of the mind. Due to oneness of consciousness at mind, body, soul, this message is immediately conveyed to the cells. The cells recognize this energy of the emotion. The recognition of this energy is the first stage in which the cells start acquiring files to be stored. This recognition could be for a positive emotion or a negative emotion. This recognition is influenced by whether the cell was exposed to the same energy previously or it is the first time exposure of the cell to it. Previous exposure to this energy means that the cells may be harboring the same within it as a part of the memory, and the recent exposure makes it possible for the cell to store this memory along with the previous ones as a part of the cellular memory with ease. Each time a thought is produced at the level of the conscious mind and passed on to be stored in the depths of the subconscious mind, there are a chain of events happening at the quantum level. The passage of the emotion into the cell is governed by the receptors present within the cells for that emotion. Certain changes or a chain of events occur as an emotion gets access to the cell via the conscious mind analysis. These are formation of receptors that release certain chemicals. There is a release of certain neurochemicals called neuropeptides. These neuropeptides then surge into the blood, followed by connecting with the receptors of the cells and release of neurotransmitters inside the cells. This leads to altered shape of the cell along with change in the structure, function and metabolic activities. This creates a new cellular memory with the emotion and the event, leading to storage of this memory inside the cells. If the event was that of exposure of the cell for the first time, the memory will not be formed and the emotion will not be stored within the memory at the first instance. The receptor formation for the cells is a complex procedure and takes some time, which is also dependent upon the cell division time and nature of the emotion passed on to the cell. As a thumb rule, all emotions that have a low vibratory frequency value and previous exposure to this emotion makes the receptor formation happen with ease. There are defense mechanisms operating in the body at the level of the body, mind and soul, and to be precise, at the level of mind, cells and DNA that prevent the formation of such receptors, especially if they are for negative emotions. This is called coping up mechanism operating at the level of the mind, cells and the DNA. For every neurotransmitter released for a negative emotion, the cells also produce a positive neurotransmitter or the antidote neurotransmitter to prevent formation of memory bank for a negative emotion. However, if the coping up mechanism is weak or disrupted due to a long-standing stressful event or a situation, the formation of such receptors is quick and the memory bank created is faster than what it is normally. If a negative emotion gets lodged in the cell as a memory at a time which is close to the cell division time of the cells and stays in the cells without being removed, the new generation of cells formed as a result of cell division, which are trillions in number, will also carry the same emotion, and a whole new set of cells with an army of harmful negative emotions is created at the quantum level. The cellular consciousness allows this information to be processed fast and spread further from one system to another through the phenomena of resonance. The nature and number of receptors thus changes fast, from positive receptors to the negative receptors, and less number of positive receptors is the end result. The cell is more sensitive now to such a negative emotion or the event, and any further exposure of the cell to the same emotion can lead to changes not considered positive or healthy for the shape and functioning of the cell. This may be considered as a beginning of a path which is downhill in terms of a cell's good health. The disease begins to creep in at this stage. An average of 60 days is required by the cells to divide under normal circumstances. And if the negative emotion is not removed from the cell environment within a span of these 60 days, the new cells formed can be considered as a precursor of disease coming inside the body. Erasing cellular memories is one self-healing technique which may be utilized to bring back the cells to their normal shape and function, and thus bring about changes at the quantum level that may aid in the restoration of cellular health. The cells are programmable, and this aspect of knowledge can be utilized further in bringing about cellular memory erasing.